So be it, Jedi.
What's going on, guys? Back in another video. A few days ago, I posted on the channel asking collectors what they like to see more: 2.0s and reissues versus new, never before seen characters. And to my surprise, the new, never before seen characters won out by like 70%. Now, let me give you a little emphasis. What I mean by new, never before seen is there hasn't been a modern, high quality version of that character made. Now, I know there's a plethora of the old Star Wars figures made in like 2006 and 2008 that are just terrible by today's standards. So when I say Asajj Ventress, there is no Asajj Ventress in 1/6 scale. So definitely would love to see that. But as much as we love to hate on 2.0s and reissues, I know we're all tired of Christian Bale's Batman, Heath Ledger's Joker, etc. We still buy them, right? Collectors still eat that stuff up because we want the best representation of that character. And as long as we keep doing that, Hot Toys is going to keep doing that, right? They're a business. If they made something 5-10 years ago and it made money then, they can make it now and make money a second time, or a third, or fourth. But when we say we want to see new, never before seen figures, that's kind of, wishy-washy, right? I personally have figures that I would love to see that will probably never be made in 1/6 scale, and I'm sure you do too. We all want that niche character from that movie we like that probably nobody's ever watched that will never be made. And there, of course, are characters from big IPs, big films, franchises that really probably should be made at this point but haven't yet. And maybe they'll get around to doing that, but I think the biggest part with Hot Toys and making new figures is they're gambling. They're rolling the dice. Because we've seen them make new figures from things that have never been made before, and they do not sell. Wednesday Addams from the Wednesday show on Netflix. That figure does not sell. There's not very many of those. They had to cut back on production because there was low pre-orders. I'm sure there are many, many more. So from a business standpoint, I understand why Hot Toys doesn't really roll the dice as much as they used to. If I were them and I didn't know 100% that something would make money, I probably wouldn't produce it. Almost all the time we see somebody posting on social media of that Tron Ares figure. When is Hot Toys going to make this? They're probably not. The movie bombed, didn't make a whole lot of money. I don't think anybody cares. So they're not going to make stuff that, if the film didn't make money or the show wasn't successful, why would they waste their time and resources making figures that less people are going to buy than another Christian Bale Batman? You know what I mean? It's just business. It's the name of the game. I know personally, if I could think of one character / figure that I would love to be made by Hot Toys or InArt or any premium 1/6 scale company that will probably never be made to the quality in which I would like, is Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, Trail by Javier Bardem. Now, I know there are two third-party figures, one by Present Toys, one by Dark Toys. They're both pretty shitty. The Present Toys, I guess it's better than nothing, right? But unless I was to get it for like $100, there's no way I would ever pay that much money for it. But to me, that's one of my favorite films, one of my favorite books, and there is really no licensed material on it. There's no collectibles, there's no merch, anything. So it'll probably never be made in a licensed format. That's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but that's why there's customs, I guess, if you want to shell out the money for it. My personal opinion on, this topic is I like to see 2.0s if it's a justified 2.0, right? I don't want to see 4.0s, 5.0s. I don't want to see 5 iterations of the same character in 3 years like we've seen with some. That gets old, that gets boring, because if they could have made it right 3 years ago, why didn't they do it then? You know what I mean? So I guess as long as the 2.0 is, better than the first version to some marginal degree, I think that justifies it. And of course, the time in between the two releases makes a difference as well. So I'd say it depends. When it comes to new properties, new films, new media, I really don't care too much about anything Hot Toys may potentially make. I don't really care much for any new stuff that comes out. I don't think it's very well made most of the time. So anytime they announce a new license or a new property, it doesn't really get me excited. Prime example, Deck and the Thea from Predator Badlands. Still haven't seen that movie. Probably going to wait for this to come on streaming, but I don't even think if I see that movie, I'm going to want to buy that figure, because I'd rather just have the Jungle Hunter 2.0 when it comes out. I don't like the Predator design, and I think that has already made up my mind on the figure. Any new Star Wars property, I really don't care. Anything coming from Disney, you're probably going to miss me on. I just don't care enough about it to buy it. Anything that's come out from Star Wars in the last 15 years, I have no interest in buying it. So, of course, this is all subjective. This is all me, my opinion, my collection. You're going to feel differently. Some people go see a new movie and they want a figure of it. I mean, by all means, people were all over that Superman from James Gunn's Superman movie. Still haven't seen the movie, but I can tell you, even if I did, I wouldn't want the figure, right? So it's going to be case by case. We're all going to be different. Honestly, I think the perfect balance would just be, you know, not everything has to be 2.0 or reissue. There's a lot of meat on the bone, especially with Marvel, Star Wars, and DC that could be made. I would love to see Thomas Jane's Frank Castle, the Punisher. That'd be awesome. Will it ever be made? I doubt it, but technically that is a brand new version of that character, even though it is a Punisher. So you can get semantical with it if you want. And by all means, don't think that I would hope for anything not to be made just because I don't like it or don't care for it or wouldn't buy it. I mean, it cost me $0 for Hot Toys to make something I don't want, right? It's on them. Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts on this video are. Do you like to see 2.0s or reissues, or do you like to see new stuff? For me, it's a bit of both, right? There's a lot of things that could be 2.0, and there's a lot of things that need to be made for the first time. So we're here. We'll see what the future unfolds, but till then, just gotta sit tight. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, see you in the next one.
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.